Mountain Truth got another awesome video for you guys on our most recent trip to the beautiful, wonderful Colorado mountains. Picked the month of October this time, really early October. Why we pick October, I did not know. Always got the chance of snow, rain, or some of those colder conditions, but for some reason this time, man, just a beautiful, perfect hiking weather. Went up on a Sunday into Monday of September and stayed till the 5th into the 6th of October. And I tell you what, every single day, high 70s, low 40s. I mean, it may have gotten into the 70s a couple of the days. It may got down into the 30s at a couple of the nights. But I tell you what, just blue skies from sun up to sundown every single day. Could not have asked for any more perfect weather up there. So it was just a blessing to have that kind of weather for our hikes. So the focal point of this trip was to try to knock out a couple of different hikes. We did want to do two for sure. We were going to try for three. We did not get three in. We just got two hikes in. But they were just epic hikes, to say the least. So the first hike we did was Mount Massive, located just west of Leadville, in that Leadville area. The second hike we did, which I'm going to do a separate video for, is the 10-mile traverse located in the Frisco-Breckenridge area. So why we picked Mount Massive? Well, we did Mount Elbert just a few years back, and of course Mount Elbert is the first, or it holds the rank for being the tallest peak in Colorado, second tallest in America, not including Alaska, right behind Mount Whitney. So when we got up to Mount Elbert, we were taking in the views and just in awe of what was going on there. We saw there to the north was Mount Massive, just this huge landmass, just huge. We didn't know what it was at the time, so after we got back down from Mount Elbert, we looked into it, and what do you know? Mount Massive, the second highest peak in Colorado, stands at 14,427 feet, has the most land above 14,000 feet, with 5 14K summits. So, just a truly massive mountain. And then when you're in Leadville and you look west, it's just right there. Just in awe of these mountains in Colorado, to say the least. So, of course, to give you a little bit of information about Mount Massive, I like to give credit to 14ers.com. Just a little shout out to them. They have been a huge help with me in planning out some of these hikes that me and the crew have done. Excuse me. They are a wonderful tool to look up all the different mountains, 14ers, 13ers, the routes that are included with each one of these mountains. They have photos. They've got all kinds of facts and information about user climbs, the weather, peak conditions, you name it. So Mount Massive has got a couple of different routes, three actually, to kind of be more accurate. The first one we did was just the east slopes, which is the main route. It's considered a difficulty of class 2, so no crazy weird scrambling up at the top or anything like that. Yeah, there's some light scrambling at the top, but in terms of risk factors, it's all considered moderate. So the exposure, the rockfall potential, the route finding, the commitment, all considered moderate. So nothing too crazy up there. Round trip wise, 14.5 miles. So definitely not a hike to take lightly. Definitely putting in some miles, so wear your comfy hiking shoes or boots if you've got ankle problems. Elevation gain, 4,500 feet. So 7 miles up, 4,500 feet, 7 miles back down, you're coming down 4,500 feet. So just a wonderful mountain, just a cool challenge to take on. Very excited about doing this mountain. Wanted to do something epic, so here it was. One of the things that I like to kind of talk about when planning out a trip or planning out a hike to do coming from sea level to the altitude that you encounter up there at 9, 10, all the way up to 14,000 feet is acclimatization, or trying to get acclimated to elevation. So coming from sea level, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth area, all the way up there to wherever your base station is. We like to stay in the Breckenridge area, so Breckenridge is just right at that 10,000, 9,000 feet. They've got some tall peaks there too, but you know, is that time it takes to acclimate to that elevation. So, you know, when you're talking about elevation sickness, you're talking about just almost like flu-like symptoms, right? You kind of get the headache, you kind of get the weird woozy stomach, you're possibly throwing up, you're not wanting to eat, not wanting to drink anything, which, you know, that whole week before, me and Sean were just trying to take as much liquids, as much electrolyte water as we could, you know, trying to eat good, trying to make sure we're not getting any physical injuries, you know, that week before. But, you know, that's one of the focal points of a trip, of any trip that we do up to the Colorado mountains, is staying hydrated, making sure we're acclimated. So we got up there on Monday evening around that 5 o'clock time frame. We tried to pick a good day to go, which we decided ultimately to kind of give us a full day that Tuesday to really get acclimated. So that way we could hydrate, that way we could rest, that way we could eat plenty, eat tons of carbs, eat tons of protein, make sure we had the calories for that trip up Mount Massive. In addition to that, you want to think about, okay, what's your pack going to be, right? Anytime that I think that you decide to do a really long hike like that, you want to take food. You want to take a good amount of liquids. So me and Sean had planned on taking 3 liters plus of water or electrolytes. We brought our jet boil so that way we could heat up food. And so we brought our own little food deals that we got dry. I think he likes to get the dry, what is that called? Those dry packs from like REI that you can get like a full meal of like 600 to 700 calories. Normally I like to take a little bit easier on my stomach because I hate taking poos outside, so I like to kind of keep it light and easy on the stomach, nothing too weird about that. But we, you know, got up probably around 3 or 4 in the morning, headed out to the trail, and took us a while to find the trailhead. They've been doing some construction there, so we kind of had to take some off routes to kind of get there. Finally got there. Still a little dark outside, so we had to break out the headlamps and use the headlamps up the trail. But the trail was just a great trail to be on. Nothing too crazy. Trying to find route finding, like I said again, very moderate route finding, so everything was just kind of laid out. Now it does pass through the Colorado Trail, so you have to be careful not to get sidetracked on that. But as long as you stick to whatever app you're using, or if you already kind of know which direction, you know, orientation you need to go, it's fairly easy to keep track of. So I use the All Trails Plus Trail app, so kind of already had my little scouting out of the trails, so I kind of knew which way to go. But again, man, I tell you what, this trail, or should I say this hike, it was tough. I think one of the things that we faced challenge-wise, other than the acclimation, was just that climb up. So once you hit the tree line of that, you know, between 12,000 and 12,500 feet, man, it started up. Like that was where you gained the elevation. And I tell you what, just, you know, one foot in front of the other, just a nasty grind up.
So far, everything's been pretty good on the trail. With a little bit of elevation gain, but it's been more gradual. Unlike some of the other trails where you start out and it's just straight up. This has been pretty good, pretty decent. A little bit of elevation, but for the most part, the trail's been gradually getting steeper and steeper, but it levels out in places and pretty nice. I got it.
O2 levels, your oxygen levels there above 12,005 is so thin. It just was a trek up. Would I say it was easy? No. Coming from Dallas Fort Worth area at sea level to doing that, yeah, that was pretty tough.
So here we are, about 3 miles in. Making pretty good time. Just under 30 minutes a mile. So pretty good, a lot better than what we expected. Just checking in though, 3 miles in. Trying to get the tree line, probably another mile, and then we'll stop, get some food, and then carry on in the exposure. Here we go. Up, up, up. Huh? I said up, up, up we go. So now on the main massive trail, and this is where you're getting your elevation gain. It is going up, up, up quick.
Now, once we got up there to the top there, and we kind of got into the where we're trying to figure out where the trail is to the summit, you know, you're already up there at 14,000 feet. You're either going to get the headache or you're not going to get the headache. And I think me and Sean both didn't get any headaches while we were up there. I think maybe as we were coming down, since we had been at altitude for so long up there, yeah, you kind of start getting that once you're up there for a bit of time. But once we got up there to the peak, and we were kind of doing some scrambling over the ridge there, trying to kind of find our way through, which was really cool. Never having really done that before on top of a peak, where you're kind of having to climb over rocks, and you kind of take a trail that you think you're supposed to be taking and all of that, which wasn't dangerous. Of course, there's some slippage that you can run into, but overall, it was a really cool end to summiting the peak. And I've got some video and pictures of that we're going to show you.
This is the grind that Mount Truth talks about. Whew. It's just a matter of, can you keep going? One foot in front of the other. Left foot, right foot. Step, step, step. Keep going. Keep breathing. It's okay to pause if you have to, but never give up. We keep going. It hurts. I'm sucking for air. That's a beautiful thing.
Awesome time up there at the top. Got some pictures. There was even a guy that joined us up there at the top. He was kind of trailing us from behind. Talked to him a little bit. But when you go up, you got to come right back down. And I tell you what, man, that journey down from the peak down to the trail line to the tree line, it was not fun. We could not wait to get down. I wanted to stop and eat something on the way down, but I think Sean was more about just, hey, can we just get down to the tree line and that's where we'll take our break? And I was like, you know what? Let's just do that. So got down. got down to the tree line, and just took a deep breath and sat down and rested for a little bit, got some food in us, and then of course took off towards the car. Definitely a long trip, definitely a long hike. I like to talk about what I find inspirational on these hikes is that you don't know the trail initially going up. Yeah, you've got it on your app, you may have looked at pictures, but you don't know what the journey is going to be like going up. And no matter what, it's got to be one foot in front of the other.
This doesn't happen every day. Look at that guy. That's a male too. Wow. I'm not sure what to do. He's in the way. You're in the way, guy. You're beautiful. This is your land, isn't it? Wow.
There, you've put in the work, training, and then now you're on top of this mountain and you're putting one foot in front of the other, and you just cannot give up. I mean, you can see the summit, you can see how big this mountain is, you can see how big a challenge it is, and it's just one foot in front of the other. I know I keep saying that, but that's literally how it was. And then as you're coming down from the summit, you can see the path, you can see the trail. Isn't that funny? Like, it's just, you can see what you just did, and it looks much easier than going up. And that's how it should be. Anytime that you take on a challenge or you take on something that's going on in your life, you have got to just understand that this is part of the grind, this is part of the challenge, and it's part of the journey. You don't go up the mountain for it to be easy. You go up this mountain for the change in your life, for what it's going to do to your character and how it's going to shape you into who you are. And that's the way I look at these mountains. It's never done this mountain before, never done this challenge in my life before, whatever it is. And if I don't have the guts, or if I don't have the discipline and the willpower to take it on, I'm just going to be stuck where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's part of I'm going to be cheesy about it, but I think that's part of the relationship, right? There's going to be times where either one of us can be stressed, and you got to find that you have to kind of push each other or find comfort or, get checked a little bit. And, and I think that's natural. I think that's normal. I don't think, I don't hate on you for what you do, and I hope you don't hate on me for what I do or whatever. You'll get used to that. I've gotten used to things about you, so it's no big deal. Yeah. Gotcha. Right.
Got to take it on, and you've got to put one foot in front of the other, no matter what. And eventually you'll get to the top, and eventually you'll see what you've done. You'll look back and you'll see the path, and you'll be like, you know what, that wasn't bad. That was a little difficult, got tired, got some blisters, got some achy shoulders from the pack I was carrying, but you know what, we did it. And and then you kind of reflect on how it's changed you. You kind of reflect on what you need to do next time, and how the hike or the challenge can be different, and how you can improve. And But you know, me and Sean thought that this was just a great hike. It was wonderful views, as always. That's why we go up there. But you know, we learned a lot of lessons. We learned a lot from it. I think our packs were just a little too heavy, so we brought a little too much than what we needed, but that's okay. It's the first hike of the week. And then we plan accordingly and adjust accordingly for the next hike. But you know what? That's how things usually go, right? Plan A usually never works. You always gotta have a plan B or a plan C, and you adjust on the fly. And so, you know, just an awesome week, just an awesome hike, and I can't stress enough, definitely need to train, definitely need to prepare yourself, and you know, be expecting a tough hike, especially coming from where we came from, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So.
We have finally made it down Mount Massive. How many miles?
Stop this real quick.
All right.
My watch says 14.97.
Oh my gosh. 14.97 miles. How much elevation?
45.98 gained. Long day. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal.
One of the things we, or I don't know, it's stupid, but I have this thing about opening a drink at the top of a mountain. I probably have only done it like twice, but for some reason I wanted to do it now. It's just ginger ale, Canada Dry. All right, here we go. 3, 2, yeah.
Push. Oh man. To never doing massive again.
Never, ever. And I recommend you don't either. Take that to the bank.
You know what? I want to say I love you guys. I want to say just always keep your head up. Always keep one foot in front of the other. Take a break if you need to. We all need to take a break. And just have faith in the journey. You know, have faith that things will work out. It may not work the way out. It may not work the way you want them to. But if you keep that goal in mind, if you keep that peak summit in sight, you will eventually get there if you keep it going and not give up. And that's the key. Don't give up. Don't quit. There's going to be people there to help you. There's going to be people there to support you. You don't see it. It's going to come out of nowhere and someone's going to give you a hand. And just, you know, when it gets hard and it's hard to see the path, just keep going. You're gonna build so many life lessons. You're gonna build so much discipline. You're gonna build so much experience from that you know, when it's time to help someone else, you can share your experience and you can give help and give hope to those people that need your help. And so experience goes a long way. All right, guys. Once again, we're gonna have another video coming out here pretty soon of the Traverse located in the Frisco Breckenridge area, so please stay tuned for that. And also we've got some merch coming out as well. We've got some shirts, some hats, some hiking shirts, and some keychains as well with the Mountain Truth logo. So again, love you guys, God bless, and be safe.